Hi, I'm Tyler Morris, and I had an assignment for my communications class, which was to interview a digital immigrant. Uh, and the digital immigrant I interviewed was my dad. Digital immigrant is someone who was pretty much born without all the technology and all that good stuff. And basically, we had asked him some questions. So the first question I asked him was, what are the main differences in interpersonal communication? Um, and his response was, the main difference is everything is digital. There are no more physical interactions anymore, and all the kids these days hide behind a keyboard and a screen. And I definitely agree with that. When I lost my phone for 2 weeks, um, I had to, all my interactions were pretty much face to face, and it definitely, I mean, it just made me realize, I guess, how much we rely on our phones. The second question I asked him was, how has your access to the media changed? And he said it used to be only TV, the radio, and the newspaper. He said now the internet has taken over, and you can find out what's going on in China by looking at your phone. And if you really think about it, it's crazy that, I mean, pretty much everyone has a smartphone nowadays, and just by looking at your screen, you can find out what's going on in the world. Updates are sent to your phone constantly. The third question I asked him was, when it comes to impact, does mass media have a greater impact on your lives and society today as opposed to 15 or 20 years ago? And my dad said, absolutely. The mass media is a much larger part of my life now because of the amount of the ways to access it compared to 15 and 20 years ago. I mean, because if you think about it, what I just said before, or what he said in his response, there was a limited amount of ways to access the mass media, and it really wasn't portable at all. Like, you would have to stop what you're doing, go buy a newspaper, or find a TV, turn on the TV, get in your car, listen to the radio. It wasn't it wasn't easy at all. Uh, the fifth question I asked him was, how often do you access the mass media on a daily basis now compared to 50, 20 years ago? My dad said much more because it's so much easier to access. At one point in time, you would have to go buy a newspaper. Now you can find everything in that paper and more in your phone because you have access to the internet, and that's pretty much the knowledge of the world. Um, the sixth and final question I asked him was, how many portals to the mass media do you use on a daily basis? And my dad said he used to only read the paper and like watch TV in the morning to pretty much find out what's going on in the world. But now he says he gets updates on his phone like every couple of minutes. And he checks his emails and he watches TV on the computer. So yeah, it's a lot more. So that's pretty much it. Beautiful.